Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Stories here. Today, I got something different for you guys. So, we're still gonna be talking about Friday Night Smackdown, but I wanted to give you guys some Call of Duty gameplay to watch while I talk about this show. And spoiler alert, I end up going off in this gameplay. I believe I went 77 and 15. So, with that being said, guys, let's just get right into the review. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is we got some very big news coming out of this show. It was announced that we'll be getting Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn versus John Cena and Kevin Owens. And that's going to be taking place on the last SmackDown of 2022. So Roman Reigns, he finally decided to show up on tonight's show. We haven't seen him since Survivor Series War Games. And basically throughout the whole show, we thought Sami Zayn, he was going to get his honorary Uce title taken away. And he was going to become a full-blown Uce. There were a couple of backstage segments, and one of them, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, they were talking. And Jimmy Uso, he was pretty skeptical that Sami Zayn might become a full-blown Uce. So he went to Roman Reigns' locker room. He wanted to know what the deal was, but Roman Reigns wouldn't give him a straight answer. And eventually, Roman Reigns just told Paul Heyman to get him Adam Pearce. So Adam Pearce comes into the locker room. Roman Reigns, he proposes the idea of him and Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and a partner of Kevin Owens is choosing. And Adam Pearce makes the match official. So now let's skip towards the end of this show. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, they came down to the ring. He acknowledged the team for their win at War Games. He said it was supposed to be a big night for Sami, but it turns out they have a Kevin Owens problem. And this made Sami Zayn very upset. Sami Zayn said that Kevin Owens would never be able to find a partner because he is Kevin Owens' only friend. And you could tell that made Roman Reigns a little bit mad. And Sami Zayn was taken aback. And Sami Zayn basically corrected himself. He said he isn't Kevin Owens' friend, but he was Kevin Owens' friend. So we got a little bit of tension between Sami Zayn and the Bloodline right there. John Cena, he ended up appearing on the big screen. And fun fact, John Cena has wrestled every year in WWE for the last 20 years, except for 2022. He hasn't had a single match this year. So basically, Cena, he goes on to say that his longtime friend, Kevin Owens, texted him and said, listen, I know you haven't had a match all 2022. Would you like to have one? So Cena accepts, and we go off the air with that big news. So that tag team match will be taking place in 2 weeks on the last episode of SmackDown for 2022. Now, honestly, this is probably the best thing that's taking place in WWE right now. I mean, whenever John Cena comes back, you know it's going to be big. Whenever Roman Reigns is involved in something, you know is big. So yeah, I'm actually excited for that. Moving on, we had a very good match for the Intercontinental Championship between Ricochet and Gunther. Originally, Gunther, he was out there with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, but right before the match, Adam Pearce, he immediately ejected both of them from ringside. So we got just a straight up one-on-one match. Ricochet versus Gunther. No extra antics from the men on the outside in this match. I was really into this match. The crowd, they were really into this match. And for good reason. I mean, this match was really good. Probably the best match. No, definitely the best match on the card tonight. So towards the end, Ricochet, he had shooting star press for a 2 count. Gunther, he ended up hitting a powerbomb. He got a 2 count. And then eventually he hit his new finisher, the Last Symphony, and picked up the victory. So he retained the Intercontinental Championship. Like I said, it was a really good match. After the match, it looked like Imperium, because they had came back down to ringside after the bell rung. It looked like they were going to attack Ricochet, but Braun Strowman came out to make the save. So it looks like Gunther's next opponent for the Intercontinental Championship is going to be Braun Strowman. That's not really a match that excites me too much, but it's going to be a good win for Gunther to beat Braun Strowman. Because there's no way Braun Strowman wins that match anyways. So it's just gonna be another person for Gunther to add on the win column. Moving on, we found out what happened to LA Knight last week. So it turns out after the lights went out in that locker room, he got tied up and there was duct tape over his mouth. He was wearing an Uncle Howdy mask. And then the person filming the video took the mask off. So LA Knight, he ended up coming down to the ring. He was upset. He said, "Listen, Bray, you could say you didn't do it all you want, but I know it was you." And he called him out. So Bray Wyatt came out. And Bray, he basically stuck with his story. He said that, "Listen, it wasn't me. And I'll give you one more chance to make things right. But you better not mess up because things could end up terribly wrong for you." Before Bray Wyatt could even get into the ring fully, LA Knight attacked him and he stomped him out in the corner. That's when we got a video package of Uncle Howdy play on the big screen. And then out came Uncle Howdy into the arena. LA Knight, he looked shocked and eventually retreated from the ring. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how you guys feel about this whole Uncle Howdy stuff, but me personally, I'm not really into it. I like Bray Wyatt. He's a good wrestler and he's a good promo, but sometimes he's like too creative for his own good, if that makes sense. Like, I'm just not really into this whole Uncle Howdy stuff. I kind of just wish that he would already have a match, but we'll have to wait for that because yeah. Moving on, there's not really too much left to talk about. We got Liv Morgan and Tegan Nox versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Towards the end, Tegan Nox was on the outside by the barricade. She got kicked in the head by somebody wearing a hoodie, and security quickly escorted her out the building. Io Sky got Tegan Nox back into the ring after, like I said, she got kicked in the head. Hit her with a moonsault, and Io Sky and Dakota Kai retained the Women's Tag Team Championships. We later found out that the person in the hoodie was Xia Li. So I'm not really sure what her beef is with Tegan Nox and Liv Morgan, but I guess we'll find out in the upcoming weeks. And lastly, we got Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro from Legado del Fantasma versus the Viking Raiders, which is Eric and Ivar, versus Hit Row, which is Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis. This was a #1 contender match for the Tag Team Championships. There's not really too much to say about this. Top Dollar, he went for a suicide dive over the top rope, but botched it, and it looked very terrible, but it turns out that he's fine, no injuries to him, so that's good. In the end, Hit Row, they ended up winning, and they'll face the Usos next week for the Tag Team Championships. And that was pretty much SmackDown for tonight, guys. Or I should say last night, because I'm recording this on Saturday morning. But yeah, that was pretty much the show. I don't really have too much left to say about this show, so I'll just leave you guys with the gameplay. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, and I'm out.
Threats in the area. Copy that. Tiger 4 inbound. Good effect on target. Copy that. UAV online. Moving AO. Enemies inside the perimeter. Enemy personnel at the hard point. Hostile UAV in the area. Confirming next hard point. Stand by. UAV ready for tasking.